There is a rhythm to modern life you've never actually heard, but you feel it every single day. An erratic, overwhelming pulse of acceleration, where everything feels fragmented and entirely out of sync. That vibration is measurable. Right now, there are 98.7 million minutes of daily time poverty, and that deficit is growing by 2.3% every single quarter. 2 million people are vibrating faster each day, just trying to keep up. When a local factory announces a layoff, the loss doesn't stop at the jobs. It initiates a cascade. The community's economic heart slows, city revenue vanishes, infrastructure funding dries up, and eventually, a major electrical grid investment is left stranded 25 years down the line. You carry a floor of $186,000 across ledgers that never communicate. That is $54,000 in consumer debt, a constant weight on your chest, plus an inherited sovereign share of over $132,000, a burden your children will carry. Because our current economic and social systems are completely isolated from one another, this massive burden of debt and lost time remains hidden from official balance sheets. The individual is left to carry the entire crushing weight alone. For a century, we have approached these deeply intertwined crises with a critical error in logic. We tried to solve them by building increasingly isolated data silos. This approach created a massive data gap, a term popularized by researcher Caroline Criado Perez to describe how missing information blinds our infrastructure to the actual needs of the population. You cannot fix the noise of a shattered world by creating another shard. We do not need another app, a new platform, or another company designed to extract our data. What we require is a structural shift in how our invisible ledgers communicate with each other. ZYRO HIVE functions as a lens, a foundational digital infrastructure protocol. Before the web, isolated computers needed TCP/IP to communicate. ZYRO HIVE performs this exact function for fragmented ledgers, linking debt, time, energy, and water across a unified substrate. Operating via federated query without collection, it asks questions without extracting data from its source. This architecture allows us to reconcile competing truths at a single grid point. We can see the whole picture without ever extracting your personal information or collapsing your identity into a marketing demographic. Fixing our infrastructure does not require new materials. We already have the grid, we have the capital, and the community. We just need a unified process of assembly, creating a completely new geometry for the assets we already possess. Through a framework called the Constitutional Quartet, sovereign entities connect to this protocol while retaining total agency. The utility keeps control of its capital, the RTO keeps its grid, and you keep your privacy. Astrobiologist David Griesboon describes this scale transition as an evolutionary necessity. It is the shift required for a planetary-level intelligence to finally awaken. By assembling these fragments into a shared technological vessel, massive industrial-age assets can finally sink into the commons. We create a collective we that functions organically without anyone losing their voice. When this protocol is activated, the immediate financial impact is staggering. Within a standard footprint, there is $4.08 billion in trapped highest anchoring defensive capital, or HADC, waiting to be unlocked. HADC is capital that is currently being wasted. It is money budgeted for compliance, covering liabilities, and defending isolated fragments of the electrical grid. ZYRO HIVE redirects this waste through an economic model called counter-regressive design. Instead of taking more from those who have less, the system returns previously extracted value directly to the citizens who need it most. In practice, these recomposed dividends flow back to the individual as non-taxable utility bill credits. It shifts the entire financial ledger of a community downward without raising a single tax. This financial mechanism is already anchored in reality, utilizing the specific precedent set by the IRS Announcement 2024-19 regarding energy rebates. This mechanism reveals value that already exists, surfacing capital once hidden by systemic fragmentation. The protocol also contains a permanent constraint known as the unborn floor, which dictates that 5% of every completed circuit's value is held in a perpetual reserve. As economist Elinor Ostrom's work on governing the commons demonstrated, inclusion is a functional necessity. By hard-coding this reserve, intergenerational equity becomes an unbreakable protocol constraint, not a fleeting policy choice. Truth starts at point zero. We do not need to invent a new world to heal this one. We already possess the grid, the capital, the community, and the watershed. ZYRO HIVE provides the architecture to finally see them all as one interconnected whole. We assemble the fragments, we sync them into the commons, and the hive completes the circuit.